Alright, this is going to be how to replace your shifter boot on a ZF6 transmission Ford. So here's the tools that you're going to need. The 6mm L socket adapter, a knife or anything to cut this boot off with, and of course your new boot. I got this off Amazon. I'll leave the link down below if anybody's interested. So to take this off, I'd recommend, if yours is already broken like mine, to cut the old one off, the rubber piece. And then there's L bolts that you need to take off. So first things first, I'm gonna cut this off and then go from there. Alright, so I ripped the old one off, or cut it with a knife. This is how it should look like. I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, there's 6 bolts that you have to take off for the shifter to come off. I'd recommend when you take it off that your truck's in neutral, just so when you put it back in it's easier. So I'm gonna go ahead and take off these bolts and go from there. One thing I forgot to mention is there is 4 Phillips bolts that hold the boot down on each side. One right here, one right here, and one right here. That's where they're located on the boot. Make sure you take those off before removing the shifter from the transmission, just so nothing falls in the transmission. So when you're taking those Phillips off, make sure you have a short stubby, some type of short stubby to get the back ones out. The front ones, it doesn't matter too much. It's just those back ones can be in pain if you don't have a short stubby. And after that, just remove your remaining bolts. As you can see, mine's already loose. So when you pull the last one out, it should be ready to move. And then you just want to pull it out slow. Like I said, you don't want to drop anything into your transmission. This is old residue for the gasket I had made. So once you remove your shifter, there's going to be 2 star-shaped bolts you want to take off to separate the shifter from the cover to the transmission. So the size of those bolts is a T40. Alright, so after you disconnect the shifter from the cover to the transmission, your rubber piece should be able to disconnect from your plastic cover. It has little divots in the back. I'm not sure if you guys can see them, little divots. Just make sure you don't rip them. That you can disconnect so you can slide that boot over. And then you just want to make sure everything's oriented the correct way. You want to slide this boot over as well, this way. Should look something like this when it's all connected. This white rubber piece sits on the black plastic piece. And then it just has the holes for those Phillips head to go in on the other side. Just make sure you're oriented correctly when you're putting everything on. After that, you can put gaskets either on this transmission cover. So now I'm going to be installing it the way it came out. Make sure your shifter was in neutral. The way it's going to go back in. And I'm going to put my bolts back on there and my Phillips head and wrap it up. So this is how it came out. Overall, I would say it's a great product. The install wasn't too bad. It took me a little bit longer than it should have due to the fact that this is my first time doing it, but overall I would say it's very easy once you understand the process. But I would highly recommend this boot, especially if yours is already cracked or broken. I just went for a drive around the block, and the in-cab noise, it's way quieter in here than it was before. I don't hear the engine or the exhaust as much, and also the fumes from the exhaust don't get in here no more because this really helps sealed it up. So I hope this helps somebody out there. Thanks for watching.